Hi, thank you. Marcel? Okay, hey y'all, I'm applying moisturizer now. This is gonna be my third time showing the moisturizer I'm using. I got that in TJ Maxx, and it's really good. I have oily skin, and so that's what I'm using. If anyone else is sipping with me, put a wine glass in the chat. Cheers. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. So in between like skin prep, you want to make sure it dries down before you layer something else on top. So I just speed up the process by using a fan. So when I first came on, I cleaned my face with this Witch Hazel toner wipes by Dickinson's. And so I just moisturized. And now I'm going to prime with the e.l.f. primer with niacinamide. Ooh. So this is a fall makeup look. This is the palette I'm going to be using. And this just screams fall. Look at these colors. I'm going to try to use as many as I can, but it has to make sense. I said this was going to be simple, so I'll probably just use 3 of these colors. And I'll let y'all know which ones I'm using as I go. So I always start with brows because just eyes. I start with eyes in general because if you have any fallout, you can always clean it up before you do your base. So I'm going to be using Precisely My Brow by Benefit Cosmetics. This is shade number 5. Make sure. Yeah, this is shade number 5. My brows are not done right now, but we're going to make it work. I like a natural brow. I don't like a heavy defined brow. So I kind of just fill in sparse areas instead of doing a full heavy brow. So let me show you how I do. I go underneath first and create a line. Just follow the natural shape of your brow. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. And then go on top further back. Start about right there. Just follow the natural shape of your brow once again. And then just kind of fill in the holes, but like you don't want to overdo it. And then at the front of the brow, we're just going to do upward strokes because that's how the hair grows in at the front of your brow. Just a little cleanup with my finger. And then it's a big difference. So we're going to take the spoolie and just remove the excess lightly. And that's what we got. Again, my brows are not done, so they look a little rough, but considering this is the best it's going to get. Ooh. So if y'all have any makeup questions or any questions, feel free to ask. Your brows are going to be cousins, not sisters. So they won't be exactly symmetrical. So now I'm going to do my eyes. This looks kind of... Too Faced Born This Way Concealer. This shade is Cookie. I'm not going to carve out my brows because I said this was going to be simple. So I'm just going to put a little on my lid as primer. The fastest way to blend is a beauty blender. And so that's what I'll be using to blend this out. And I am going to bring it up. That's okay to do the brows last if you're good at your base. So I didn't carve out my brows, but I did bring the concealer up under the brow to kind of give the same effect. So make sure you have no creasing. And now I'm going to start my shadow application. So again, I'm using this Date Night palette. So I'm going to use an all over color first. And I'm going to use this one as my all over lid color. So you want to brush about this size. Not too big, not too small. For that all over color. I'm just tapping in and make sure you tap off the excess. And I'm just going to start patting this on there. I'm going to avoid this area under my brow. So right now I'm going in with my all over color. This is the fall palette I'm using today. And I'm putting this all over the lid as like a transition color. You get more coverage if you tap as opposed to swiping, but I do a little of both. And again, I'm avoiding this area. I think one more layer into my transition color will be good. Now I'm going to go in with this green just to make this look more fall. This green here, and I'm going to put it in the outer corner for like a smoky look. It's like a sage green. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to go in the corner. Just build up the coverage until you can, yeah, I can see it. Keeping it on the outside. I'm gonna be honest, I am not crazy about this palette. This is my first time using it and it's not giving. So this looks quite dull. So I'm gonna go in with this shimmer. When I'm applying shimmers, I like to use my finger. So let's pop this in the corner. That definitely helped. And then I'm going to go around that with the green color again. Just so it's nice and neat. So yeah, outside of the shimmer in this palette, I probably will not be using this again. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the other side. Going in with that brown as an all over color. It seems to be going on better on this side for some reason. Let's see. And then I'm going to take this green. Kind of make a V. So the pigment with this palette is not good. Like, the pigmentation is just not worth the money. Yeah, I don't like this at all. But we're gonna keep going. I see so many bridal makeup artists use their wedding wish palette. And I'm trying to figure out why. So I wasn't going to do eyeliner with this look because I was trying to keep it simple, but this eyeshadow is not giving. So this is my Styla pen, and I'm just going to go in with a little of this on the outside. Every look doesn't need a wing, but we're doing one today. Okay. So all this mess on the sides, concealer overlap, that's why I do eyes first, because it'll be easy to clean up when I go in with my base. So next I'm going to do my mascara. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to apply glue to my half lashes. I absolutely love half lashes. I will pick up a half lash before a full lash any day of the week for myself and my clients. Half lashes just look better. They're more natural. And they give the eye a lift on the outer corner, which lifts the entire face. So if you're further along in age like myself, you are always looking for a way to lift your face for that youthfulness. So I like to curve my lashes like this. Go ahead and bend them so they just lay on the curve of the eye naturally. Like once I get my base on, this eyeshadow will pop a little more, but it is just the pigmentation is just not good with it. So this is how I apply my glue. This is Super Strong by Kiss Lash Glue. And I don't apply it to the lash line. I see people apply the glue straight to the eyelid. I don't advise that. Where the lashes lift up most is on the outer corner, so you want to focus the glue to the outer corner. So you don't put your lashes on right away after adding the glue. You got to let the glue get tacky. And that's how it sticks. I'm making a mess. I gotta cut off these clear corners. I'm gonna bend this one like so. So while the glue is getting tacky, I'm going to do mascara and start my base. So I like to coat the inner lashes first and then do the outer. I don't know why I thought I could do that without a mirror. So and it helps when you have on eyeliner so you don't have to worry about getting mascara on your eyelid. This mascara is Call Me Queen by Essence. You do mascara before lashes, so when you go to blend them together, it looks more natural. So this is my first time going live doing my makeup. Just decided to try it, see how it goes. And it's kind of fun, actually. Okay, got the mascara on. I have my primer on and I'm going to start my base. But let's just make sure everything is dry. So I'm going to be using Can't Stop, Won't Stop by NYX. This is a matte foundation, which obviously works well for oily skin. You want to put the foundation on your hand to warm it up. And then we're going to use a flat, really dense brush to apply the foundation. So I'm spreading it around like so. It's a good color match. We're going to avoid the under eye area because that's where we'll be doing a little concealer. And just dab this all around. I need a little more. Kind of patting and swiping at the same time. I need my mirror to go around my brows. Thank you. This is CSWS F16. Where is the color? I'm mahogany, but I'm trying to see where it says that. But I'm positive this is mahogany. But just it's mahogany, but I don't know why it's not on there. But I've been using that foundation a long time and I never switch shades, so I know that's mahogany. Normally you have to get a lighter foundation shade in the winter, but since Florida stays hot year round, I don't think I'm gonna have to switch. This actually looks pretty well blended, but this is just a habit. Every time I use a brush, I go behind it with a beauty blender. And I am watching my lashes. They're still white, so they're not ready. You want it to be clear. That's how you know it's ready to apply. So I always go behind with a beauty blender so I don't have any stippling marks and everything is smooth. Plus it removes excess product for like a nice natural finish. For concealer, I'm going to use the same one I used to prime my eyes, Too Faced in Cookie. This is a natural look, so I'm not really concerned about the placement. So I'm just going to dab a little right there. This is good enough. I'll highlight a little bit. With concealer, the longer you let it sit, the better it spreads when you go to blend it out. I'm going to speed up the process with my trusty dusty fan. But if you let it sit for like 3 to 5 minutes, it's going to spread and give you beautiful coverage, better coverage. So to blend out concealer, you can use a brush, a beauty blender. This is the latest trend I've seen. People using the triangle puff to blend out concealer. So I'm going to try it here and you can see if it works or not in real time. Let's see. So I do the under eye last. So I'm going to start with my chin. It's working. It like totally disappeared. So yes, this is something I'll do going forward. And this is, it's blending pretty well. I actually could have maybe gone a shade lighter with this concealer, but it's fine. So you want to start on the outside edges and work your way in. And then you have to look up to make sure you're getting under the eye. And then I'm just sharpen my wing at the same time. Yeah, this triangle puff works pretty good. Let's go in for close up. There is such a thing as over blending, so I'm gonna stop on that side and move over. If you have any makeup questions, any questions at all unrelated to what I'm doing here, feel free to ask. Okay, this is a pro makeup tip. So you don't see this harsh line between the concealer and the foundation. I'm taking my foundation brush that I use to blend out my foundation. I haven't added anything to it. And I'm just going to go around the edge so you can't see where the concealer starts or stops. Just a very light around the perimeter with the Beauty Blender. So I'm getting ready to set my under eye. You want to make sure you're not setting any creasing. So that's why you want to really be quick on the draw with your setting powder when you go to set your concealer. I'm using Huda Beauty, and the color is Kunafa Easy Bake. Just gonna, this is a banana powder color. I'm using a new wedge. I'm not using the one I blended out my concealer with. Make sure I don't have any creasing since I've been speaking to you guys. Get some on the blender. That's too much. Tap it onto your hand and go ahead and push it in. So I'm just going everywhere I put the concealer. So now this eyeshadow is starting to show a little more, but I still don't like it. My lashes, still not ready. So now I'm going to go in with bronzer. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around for this entire live because this is my first time doing this. So I appreciate you hanging out. So this is Juvia's Place, dark. Since it's fall, I'm going with dark. Typically, I would use tan for my complexion, but let's just really bronze it up. This has like a really red tone to it, which I feel is like so perfect for fall, warm tones. So I'm going with that. With contour, you don't want to go all the way in, just kind of like only so far, and go up into the hairline and around the perimeter. We are creating shadow on the face. Now when you contour the under, you want to go under. You don't want to go like on top, because the idea is to slim the face and create shadow. So you need to be under the jawline and under the chin. So you can kind of go crazy with the bronzer. I love a good bronze. You want to go in an upward motion to lift the face. Dark pretty much works for everybody. And of course, we're going to blend this out. Typically, I would go up here, but my hair is kind of covering it, so I'm not going to worry about going up there. And let's give this another little wipe. Yeah. So let's blend our bronzer in, and then I'm going to go in with a little blush. When you're blending, just do the edges. Don't go all the way into the middle, because then you're going to take away what you just applied. So you see how smooth that is? Just going around the edges. And we do want to blend that we put under the chin out as well. We're going to take the same palette and contour the nose. But of course, we're going to use a smaller brush for this. I'm using the same palette, mixing the two shades. For contouring the nose, you want to go into the brow. So it's coming out of the brow and go down lightly. That made a difference. So, let's blend that out. Yep. Fully blended. Now we're going to add a little blush. This looks springy, but it's going to work. So let's see. I'm adding all my powder products first, and then I'm going to set. But I'm only going to use this dark orange at the top. And it's gonna work. So I bring my blush under the eye. You see it? A little on the corner doesn't hurt. I like a little color on my nose as well with the blush. And then what do we think? Trying to make sure I haven't had any blush blindness. Okay, so far, so good to me, in my opinion. Let's blend the blush. So when you have that dry, cakey look, don't worry, because the setting spray puts everything together, makes everything melt into your skin. This is Maybelline Lasting Fix. Of course, this is a matte setting spray. Pretty much everything I use is matte because of my oily skin. You always want to do a test spray. Make sure it's not going to come out in like clumps on your face. So don't be afraid to really get in there and saturate your face. I have 3 electric fans. This one works the best. So after I dry my face, my lashes will be ready to put on. Woo. It's dry. The easiest way to put on lashes is to look down into a mirror, because that way you can see the top of your lashes and see exactly where to apply. So I have a little compact mirror. I'm just going to look down into it and stick my lash right on top. This is a half lash, so it should be with the glue being tacky, it's stuck right on. So now I'm pinching the false lash together with my eyelashes. So it's a natural blend. Mm-hmm. Because I hate this palette so much, and this is probably the last time I'll be using it, I'm just going to add this little green shimmer under here, because I'm very disappointed with this palette, but I'm going to give all the shades a chance, most of the shades. That made a difference. You could definitely see the difference. Yeah. Does anybody want this palette? Okay, so now we're to the lips. It needs to be fall. I found this brown Maybelline shade. It's called Champion. I think it could be used as a liner, and we do something else on the inside. So let's just see what this looks like. It's not bad. So I'm going to try to stay on the outside and use this as a liner. Can you see the brown? Inside, I'm going to use this Milani Rose Rising is the color, and I'm going to go on the inside with this. Now that's fall. We need a little, excuse me, we need a little highlight. I really like that lip. I'm just trying to make sure I absolutely do hate this palette. I'm going to try this color right here on my brow bone. This is the lightest shade in this palette. I'm going to see if it works on the brow bone. Let's see. This palette is such a disaster. This palette is such a disaster. Oh my gosh. Nope. I'm not digging it. I'm just blending out what I put on the brow bone. I feel like I need a highlighter shade. Perhaps a lighter shade on my inner corner. Thank you. It came together quite nicely. This palette is a disaster. The palette, I did the best I could with it, but thank you. I'm gonna do a gold highlight. So let me find one real quick. So the irony of it all, I go to find a gold highlighter, and this is what I come up with. Another P. Louise palette. The irony. Okay. Let's try it. I'm going to do this shimmer color as a highlighter. Let's see. So at least one of the palettes aren't useless. Let's just blend this out. Nobody's really putting highlighter here anymore, but for the heck of it. So this is done. This is the final look. I just have to touch up my brows because in the midst of applying the rest of your face, your brows can get lost in the sauce. Thank you. Let's try to touch up my brows. If you wanted your brows to have that laminated look, all you would need to do is go on top of these with a brow glue, a brow gel, and it'll give it that laminated brow look. But was this simple enough? I used one palette. I was just playing in the colors. But I'm just going to show you guys what I was talking about. This is NYX's brow gel, brow glue. And this is just going to make my brows look laminated. I don't know if you can see the difference. So yeah. So that's the final look. This palette is trash. This palette is okay. If you want this palette, let me know because I don't like it. Tricked me. But this is the final look. Thank y'all for joining my live. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for the interaction. Those of you that interacted. This was my first one. Not quite the turnout I hoped for. Thank you, Shay. But I'm not a quitter and I'm going to keep going live doing my makeup looks. Darkest, did I say it right? And Marcel, thank y'all so much. Thanks, Marcel. I've been seeing you doing your thing in Atlanta. You're really doing your thing. I'm so proud of you. My friend from Georgia. Thank y'all so much for staying to the end and supporting. I'm going to keep going live. I am not a quitter, and I'm going to keep doing my thing too. So we're going to hold each other accountable. Thank y'all. Any final questions before I check out? I'll see y'all on the next one.